Hey, what's good everybody? It's cjbeatz. We're back at it again today. Today we're going to sample a beat in Logic Pro X and make a sampled trap beat out of it. And I already went ahead and searched for a sample on YouTube and imported it into Logic, and I'll just let you hear it really quick here. Alright, so probably just going to use that part and chop it up. A couple of things I wanted to go over before we start sampling here is number one, you want to make sure that you have a hotkey enabled on your Logic instance that will allow you to chop real easily using your keyboard, chop samples that is. So if you go to Logic Pro X and then Preferences, and go to Key Commands and then Edit. At the top here you can type in the word split, and the split regions events at playhead position should be highlighted, and then you could set your own key. In my case I have the / button set to it, and this is right beneath the delete button on your keyboard. You could set it to that, you could set it to whatever you want. The way to do that is just say learn by key position and then hitting that key combination or that key on your keyboard. So for a key combination, for example, you could have either shift or control, option or command as a modifier, so you'd have to first hit that and then the key, or you could just, like I said in my case, I use a / button, so I just hit / button on the keyboard and then we'll set it to that. If you're using a key that's already set to a hotkey within Logic, it'll give you a warning and say, do you want to replace it? If you're okay with it, you just hit replace and you should be good to go. Alright, so let's go ahead and zoom into the sample here, and we're going to go ahead and try to see if we can chop this up properly. Alright, that means getting the chop positions in place. So you can see I just basically chopped off some of that beginning of that dead noise, or that white noise that we don't want. Alright, so I'm now chopping them at all the vocal positions, so like when the right here, or also where the bass line comes in. And you don't have to worry about like fine-tuning the chop right now. We can do that afterwards. So right now, as long as you have your snap set to smart and it's turned on like this, you could use the cursor to place chops, and it will try to basically put the chop or the cursor where it thinks the sample would start and end. And you can easily go in there afterwards and make adjustments to this. Fine-tuning that chop, but it just gives you like a start, sort of, where to start off. Alright, so this one needs to, if you hover above the chop that you made, you could simply click and drag that chop over like so, and you can get really, really detailed by zooming in and bringing that chop to where you think it should be. So there should be another one here, I think. Right around here. Another one here. Maybe another one here. You know, always where like the instrument changes the key or the note or the vocal. That one could be a little later. Another one right here. That's also nice. Let's chop those in there. So now it's starting to get filled up, so we can basically you know, get rid of the rest by hitting delete if it's highlighted. Another thing I like to do with my samples is fade them in and out so that there's no real crackle noises when I'm playing the samples in the sampler in a minute. So if you have all of them highlighted like this, you can go to your fade tool and zoom in really far into the sample chops, and then hitting command on the keyboard and then dragging a box like this. This will basically fade the sample in and out between the chops, okay? And that will basically get rid of any of these chopping noises that can occur when you're chopping samples, okay? I'll do the first, do the same thing in the first and second and last samples. First and last samples, I should say, okay? All right, here we go. Alright, now we don't want that bass sound in there, so I'm just bringing in EQ, and I'm going to chop some of those lows off because we want that being occupied by the bass that we're going to be putting in, 808s or whatever. So you can hear like the bass sound is less noticeable now, right? Alright, let's go ahead and bring in a new software instrument, and we'll make this the EXS24 sampler. If it's not under recent, you could find it right here under stereo mode. Before you continue, make sure that your advanced tools are enabled. So go to Logic Pro X, Preferences, and then Advanced Tools, and just hit the Enable All button at the bottom here. That will enable all of the tools that you need. Because if you don't, you won't have this Edit button, which is really important. And this will allow you to import these samples right into the EXS24 sampler. Alright, so I'm highlighting all of these chopped and faded in and out samples, and I'm dragging and dropping them into the sampler like so. I'm going to just continue and hit OK on that default. Alright, let's go ahead and build a new group. So go to Group, New Group, select the first sample, hit Command A on the keyboard, and then drag them into the group. Go to your groups, set your polyphony to 1. This will basically make sure that when you're playing samples on your keyboard, as soon as you start hitting the next key, the other sample will start playing. Make sure one shot is enabled on all of these. That's by default already the case. This will basically allow you to play, you know, just hit the key once and have the sample play through all the way without having to hold it down, if that makes sense. This gives it sort of like that MPC feel. You could reverse samples too in the EXS if you want to do that, just by ticking those off, or you could select them all and then hitting like the reverse button on one of them, and all of them will be reversed. So they're all reversed now. We can play around with that in a little bit, but for now let's keep them playing forward. dope. All right, now let's mute that sample chops, those sample chops we made, and we're gonna just stick to working with the XS24 sampler. It's always a good idea to save your instrument. So, and you can just go to Instrument, Save As, and I'll just call this Sample Tutorial Chops. Okay, and now you can always go back to it, and when you're opening this project file, which I'll make available for download for free in the description of this video, you could just download it, open it in Logic. Make sure you're on the latest version of Logic. I'm using 10.3.2, latest version of Logic, and also always a good thing to do is download your entire sound library. Just go to Logic Pro X and download all available sounds. All right, so that if you open my projects, you have everything that I have. All right, so all the drum sounds and samples will be included, obviously, when you download the project file. All right, now let's come up with a nice sample melody with these chops that we've created. So I'm exiting out of all of that. I have my BPM set to 69. What's nice about chopping samples is you can set your own BPM, beats per minute, without having to conform to the BPM that the song already came in, because you're playing the samples in whatever tempo you're setting. All right, I'm going to turn my loop on for a 4-bar loop, and just going to play around. I'm going to hit play, have the metronome playing so that I know the tempo that it's in, and see what I can come up with here. All right, maybe we got to up the volume on this. You know what? We're going to bring another EQ in, also chop more of those lows out. Yeah, that's dope. All right, now let's go ahead and hit Command R to record. See how that came out. So I'm going to hit Command A and then Q to quantize all of them, quantize my selection, and should space these samples out a little bit here. Bringing the volume up on all of those. Maybe bring the tempo up a little bit. All right. Maybe we can even have it go down a little bit. Now let's see if we can, come up with another sample melody here. like that. Maybe we could even build in a pitch shifter now. Pitch these down. Start coming up with a groove here. Start with a clap real quick. Alright, quantize that. Record a snare real quick. Alright, nice. Let's make sure this is on 116 and quantize that. All the volumes up. Ah, I like that vibe already. Start building a kick pattern here. Playing the 808 in a higher octave lets you, like, you know, come up with the melody. All right, let's record that. Let's try that one more time here. Delete this. Alright, nice. Just 4 simple notes for the 808. Trying to keep this tutorial short. Maybe we could do a little bit of 808 flexing by using the tune, the slide function. So turn it to legato, bring the glide up maybe to 83 or so, and here you could build in other notes. Maybe just, you know, same note in a different octave like this, and it'll glide up and down now. So this is this guy. So do one up, bring this to 1/16, and 1/16. Triplets. I wanted regular 1/16. Here we go. Nice. All right, so now let's build in some triplets here. All the volumes up. Oops. And then here maybe we can do 1/8 triplet. We'll do 1/8 triplet here. That's too slow. Let's do maybe 1/16 triplet like so. Just at the end there. Secondary hi-hat. open hat now. Like that, maybe. Just real simple. All right. Sync lead out. Maybe what we can do now for the hook is turn on the high cut frequency for that. Hit A on the keyboard and let's go to high cut frequency like so. And for the hook, we'll have this go down and then back up. And then maybe play just the percussion. All right, so shaping it so that we can, we'll have a nice 16-bar verse. Going to copy and paste these over like that. Build a pause. I did want this that to happen at the in the hook like this. I could hear like Kendrick Lamar or something on this. So I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. I definitely enjoyed making it. If you have questions, suggestions, maybe for new videos, put those in the comment section. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Make sure to like this video if it helped you out. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.